Afternoon and welcome to building landing pages for SEO and sales purposes. My name's Dante St James. I'll be taking you through this particular module, which is going to be a little bit of theory, a little bit of ideas, but a whole lot of physically building landing pages using a few great little tools that I've used along the way. And one which is probably a little bit more premium, but that's okay. It gives you an idea of what a lot of these landing page tools do tend to do. So let's share that screen and get started. Starting off with a quote from Tim Ash, who's the author of Landing Page Optimization, the definitive guide to testing and tuning for conversions. And he said, if the visitor can't find something easily, it does not exist. If you emphasize it too many items, all of them lose importance. Any delay increases frustration. And that's going to be a big theme that I'm going to carry into this as we start to build landing pages. And particularly as we start to see what the difference is between a landing page, a home page, and what you're probably doing already when building those campaigns through, Facebook and Google, all the places you're trying to advertise people to get into your stuff. So let's get going. What we're going to cover today is creating landing pages that are fit for purpose and defining what they are and what they're not. We're going to turn existing web pages into more effective landing pages. And that's really important because what we want to do is perhaps look through the things we've already got on our websites and go, could they be performing a little bit better? We're going to build a landing page or adjust the landing page using Divi, which is in WordPress in one of my websites. So you can pull out a page on one of my sites and play with it. We're going to build a landing page using the Wix platform. I'm going to do it in Google Sites as well. And one of the more premium ad page or lead page landing page generators called adpage.io. Now it's going to be a little bit pricey, this one, so I'm not recommending you necessarily use it, but it is very, very similar to lead pages, Insta pages, and a lot of those other more expensive premium landing page tools. This is brought to you by Business Station and the Australian Small Business Advisory Services Digital Solutions Program, as a conjunction with Business Station in Western Australia. And you've got Treaty Business Consulting in the Northern Territory and our friends in Queensland, Regional Development Australia in Brisbane. Q&A is open, so please do ask questions along the way if you've got them. And also if you've got anything in the chat as well, I'll be opening that up so we can see what's going on in there. Just getting all my windows set up so I've got those all ready for you to go. But the Q&A is a really great way to, I guess, make those things sort of stand out so that you can go, hey, this is the thing that I don't understand. Now, that's what I really hope you do, because if there's a concept in here you don't understand, it's a very good chance that someone else doesn't understand it as well. So it's great to be able to bring that forward, and nobody else can see you typing that in the Q&A. It's only me. So if you just want to keep it quietly just between you and I, that's okay. I won't mention your name as well. So let's move on. When it comes to landing pages as well, you're going to want to learn this later because there's a fair bit of information in this 1 hour. You can go and check it out on the Business Station channel on YouTube a little bit later this evening, as well as my own one. Just look for my name, Dante St James. And speaking of Dante St James, a bit about me. Educated originally in medicine at Western Sydney University. Decided after a few years practicing that wasn't really the place I wanted to be. Moved into marketing and media and communications and broadcasting through the University of New South Wales, and went on to study a Bachelor of Business Systems and also another one in marketing, a double degree, and then went on to do my master's in business information systems as well. I'm a bit of a study junkie, so don't feel like you need to go out there and get all these degrees to be able to do stuff. I'm just a bit of a freak like that. I just like to study, and I generally study something every single year. I work with Facebook through their community training program at the moment, which has been fantastic and about to get back on the road. So very much looking forward to getting on some planes and meeting some people in regional Australia, and also several government programs such as the NICE program in the Northern Territory and the Be Connected program, which is throughout Australia connecting older Australians with digital tools. So what are these pesky landing pages and what are they actually used for? It's one of those terms that gets thrown around a lot and we don't quite know what it is. We just know that somehow we should be doing something with it. So a landing page is built for a very specific purpose in mind. It's built for a specific origin of the traffic coming into it. It's built for a specific action to be taken on that page. It's generally uncluttered. It's got a very clear message, and it's got a very clear pathway to what the client or the customer has got to do next. So that's all very well. What does that actually mean? Well, a specific purpose or built for purpose landing page can be made to make a sale. It may have a single product on there that you want to sell, or you want to promote, or you want to just go, this is the one thing of this product that I'm going to sell. Everything else is irrelevant for this particular campaign. So you can imagine that would be pretty handy when you say running ads on Facebook, and those ads on Facebook are to do with a particular scented essential oil. So that particular oil you're selling, let's just say it's patchouli and bergamot. That particular oil is going to be just this one product you need to get rid of because you bought too many of them. So you don't want necessarily people going to your whole website and then buying something else. You just want them to buy this particular product so you can clear your stock out, right? That's what you would use a specific purpose landing page to make a sale for. You could also do the same thing with getting a lead. If someone goes to your particular website and they go and say, okay, I'm going to look around for where this person is and how I can get in contact with them, that's all great. We don't mind that at all. But if you want to get a lead out of that person, exploring your website is the enemy of conversion and lead generation. What you're going to want is someone going right straight smack bang into that page where the lead generation form actually is, rather than having to hunt through a lot of other stuff to get there. It's also very good when you can build a specific landing page for something like getting a booking. You might want to have your time booked. So you might want to have someone go directly to your Calendly link or to your Timely link, or one of those booking calendars you're able to put in there. Now, to do that, you might have to do a little bit of talking before it. Now, I'll tell you now that a Calendly link will take you to a great, like, book me here and all that. But if you want to sort of build someone up to the process of booking you, you're going to need a little bit more than just a link through to a calendar program. And then there's plenty of other things. So it could be just to get a certain bit of information. It might be to get their email address for other reasons, to nurture that lead through a process as well. But the idea is that each landing page is built for one specific purpose, not for 15 different things, not for a multiple set of things, not for directing people off in lots of directions. It's very much about getting someone in for that one thing. And the question from G has just said, would it be good for fundraising? Absolutely, yes. In fact, this is what a lot of charities and a lot of not-for-profits actually do. This is part of their strategy for fundraising. Rather than sending you through to their main website, such as the Red Cross website, for instance, they'll send you through to a specific site just built for the bushfire appeal or for the flood appeal or something like that, that's built specifically about that thing. So you don't get to one site, get confused and overwhelmed by all the different things that are in there, and then go, oh, which one do I pick? Which one do I pick? You want to make sure they're going to a site where they know exactly what to do and there's no other options. That's what a landing page is. If you want options, that's what a website is. That can be like an e-commerce site, a shopping page where you've got lots of different options you want to do. But if you want a landing page for just one purpose, that's what this is really good for. The specific origin is saying that I want this landing page just to be shown to people who are coming through from this one specific Facebook ad, or this one specific Google ad, or this one specific email campaign that I sent out in January. So it's saying that you want to be able to separate out the traffic that's coming in through these different channels. So instead of, you can have multiple landing pages with the same product on it, it doesn't actually matter, because you're not looking for any sort of SEO value. You're not looking for people to happen upon you in Google, because usually landing pages have a lifespan. They're usually not forever. They are usually for, a particular purpose, a particular time, a particular campaign. They can be tied to, in the top end, we've got like topic, they're tied into a seasonal thing, like the dry season or the wet season or the runoff or the build up. It could be summer, autumn, winter, spring in any other part of Australia. It could be, Easter. If there's a specific Easter thing you've got on, you don't have an Easter promotion on all the time. You don't particularly want to turn your beautiful website into a great big sales machine, because it's there to brand you and it's there to look like a corporate front end. So you use this sales page or landing page to be able to carry that out for you. So specific origin often means that you want to use a specific page with a specific message that matches what the look and feel of the ad or the email or whatever caused someone to go through to you. Maybe it's even the social media post on your Facebook page or your Instagram profile. You want that to match. You want it, if it's blue and gray, like this particular one with a splash of orange and a splash of dark gray, well, then you're going to match those colors, that look and feel and font on your landing page as well, so that it feels comfortable that someone's going to the right place. If they go to a place where they land and they're not comfortable with it, and it feels like it's a bit dodgy and doesn't match what they expected when they saw the ad, then your landing page will become a lot less effective. And people just get spooked so easily by things online because we're always expecting that someone's out to get us. And in a way, that's kind of true as well. When we're looking at a specific action, we're looking at what you actually want to do at the end of it. Now, I've got the wrong little buttons in here, but what it should say is a specific action could be something like buy this product, like click on this, download this, book me now. So you want someone to take a very specific action once they get on there. So ultimately you want a sale or you want a lead, but you need to have a very specific action pointed to in there. So often that's a button, and that button will say book now, or say buy now, shop now, something like that, that leads them to a specific thing. We're a bit monkey see, monkey do in the retail world. We tend to need to be directed to places. And there's this a very kind of, I would say it's not that old, but it's been around since the beginning of, I guess, landing pages and conversion optimization, which is the, I guess, the science of how you write a web page to make people do things and buy things. And quite a lot of time, that's just simply that if you don't tell people to buy from you, they won't buy from you. If you don't tell them to book you from you, they won't book from you. They need to be told what to do because people generally are a bit sheepish and need to be given directions in life. Now, that's of course not everybody. Some of us are very, very strong-willed, and we will not buy anything we do not want to buy. But if we are looking for something to buy, if we get there and it's confusing, we don't know where to go, and we don't actually know what the next specific action is, then we're probably not going to do it. I had a recent experience. I recently, like back in sort of early February, I was booking one of my trips to Cairns, and I thought, oh, while I'm in Cairns on the weekend, I'll stay a weekend and I'll go out on a reef tour and do a bit of snorkeling, that sort of thing. So I went to one of the more famous ones, Quicksilver Tours or Quicksilver Cruises, and on their page, I could not find where to actually book. Like everything else was there. Everything was there. Like all the beautiful photos and videos and testimonials and everything was wonderful, but I could not find where the stupid booking button was. Now, the booking button was on some floating thing that my ad blocker had blocked. It had blocked it as being spammy, and it kind of appeared that it was. But by only having it in that one little floating thing down the side of the page of where to book, it meant that a whole heap of us who are using our blockers, and up to 12% of people are, that person just can't find the book where to book. They just will not book, and we won't, go looking for it. We'll just go, no, can't book. All right, I'll go to somewhere I can. And I went with someone else. I ended up going with a completely different cruise company because the experience was too confusing on the page that I landed on. They're also going to be very uncluttered. Now, preferably in best practice, a landing page, as opposed to your website or your homepage, won't have a menu. There's nowhere else to go. There's no links to other things. There's essentially a minimalist approach, which just said, here is this product or here is this service. Here's what to do about it. And they are such boring pages. Trust me, there's no creativity going on here. It's all completely geared towards getting someone to do one thing. And if you give people lots of menu items and you give people lots of options, they go exploring, and exploration is the enemy of conversion. It is the enemy of getting people to do what you want them to do. Unless you want people to just wander around your site and go, oh, that's lovely. Oh, this web designer is really talented. I don't think any of us are really in it for that. We're all in it to make sales. We're all in it to make some kind of life for ourselves even. So what we want to do is make sure that we're not caught in that trap of wanting people to go to our beautiful, perfect website when we want them to buy something or to action something. We've got to send them to a very specific place that's geared just for that particular action. So you want no distractions whatsoever if you can possibly achieve it. Your clear message is going to be written for a very specific audience. Now, we quite often find that if you're doing things like advertising on Facebook or advertising on Google, that your ad copy or your ads creative is going to be in such a way that you have written it so clearly for a specific kind of person. You wrote it for a mum with kids. You wrote it for a guy who's in the army and he's being posted to Townsville or something like that. You've written it very, very clearly for a very specific person to react to. So in that ad, Then when they land on that landing page can't just be a generic page that's just for everybody. You want that landing page to also reflect that specificity. My goodness, what a word that is. If you're going to take home a nice new word to learn, specificity, that is just terrible. Let's wind that back a little bit and just go, you want a very specific page for that very specific ad for that very specific audience. I love the word specific today. So you need to be able to go, if it's aimed at the army guy, then the ad needs to be aimed at the army guy. The landing page also needs to be written for him. So much of the same language, look and feel, and the idea that you're not just selling to just anyone when they get there, you're selling to this specific guy. And this is where you come down to things like understanding what your target audience is, what your avatar is, or what your target client or your specific, I love that word again, your particular audience is. So you've got an idea in mind of who the person is who's going to buy it, whether it's a woman who's 35 with 2 kids, or whether it's a man who's living on his own first time in a remote area and he's a tradie. So you write things for them. So your message needs to be clearly targeted towards that person. There's lots of techniques and styles that can help you do that. But the basic is just step into their shoes and think, what would that tradie that I know respond to? What would that mum who I know respond to? And then write for that. So the style has to match. It's really important that if you've got a specific style on your ad, that carries across through to the landing page as well. And very clearly outline what the benefit is to the customer or the client for what they're about to buy. If they are buying a box full of organic vegetables, for instance, outline the benefits of that. Not just here's a box of vegetables, it's got this, it's got this, it's got this, it's got this. Outline a few benefits with it. It's delivered to you, or you can pick it up at a click and collect joint, or we pick it every week, so you know it's as fresh as you're going to get. It's grown locally, so it's, you know, the kilometers from the farm to the table are as little as possible. All that kind of stuff is going to be really helpful for you to be able to understand what it is. You got to think of what's in it for them. What's in it for them isn't a box of veggies. What's in it for them is convenience, health, the status of having a box of veggies delivered that's organically grown and locally produced right to their doorstep. So there's going to be a certain status for that. Get inside the head of the person that normally buys this stuff from you, and then you'll understand what the benefits are to them. They actually tell you about it. It's so damn convenient. I used to have to go to the markets every weekend. Now I can just have it delivered to me. Listen to what they have to say about it, what they think the benefits are, or even ask them and say, why are you getting these? Because wouldn't you normally just go to Coles or Woolies? And they go, oh no, I don't want to eat that stuff because all pesticides and blah, blah, blah. They'll give you the reasons. Outline those reasons in your clear message on your landing page. And then have a clear pathway of what's next. So what is the next step that someone has to take? And ensure, like I was saying before, that there's very, very, very few options. So I'm not talking about any sort of menu if you can get away with it, and no links going off to lots of other things. So we're not saying, oh, you might also like this. It's like, no, we don't want to sell this or other thing. We just want to sell this one thing. Or all I want to do is get them to put their email address into Dante, so I can send them this link to a video so that I can get them in my sales funnel, if that's what you're trying to do too. Give everybody an obvious place to start the journey with you by making sure those buttons are clear, the words are clear, and squish the words down. If you've got lots and lots of words, if you've got 300 words on a page, that's probably the absolute maximum you want for a basic retail landing page. But if you're doing something which is much more expensive, like coaching services, a lot of consultation services, then it may take a little longer to convince people of that. Or if you're fundraising for a particular thing, let's just say for children who don't have their textbooks for school this year and they need some help with affording the textbooks. Well, if you've got that kind of charity working, then you can spend your 300 words actually explaining how this particular kid has benefited from this. Wouldn't it be great if more kids, and there's hundreds and thousands of them who struggle with this every year, are able to get this thanks to your help? So you're able to tell a bit of a story, and then giving a very clear path to what to do next. Help kids like Billy here. Help kids like Caitlin here. And it makes it so much easier that you're tying together that story with the action. So they might not be helping Billy or Caitlin, but they're helping kids like Billy or Caitlin. They might not be going to change their life by eating organic food, but we can say, feel better about what goes inside you or something like that. And that could be the next clear pathway to someone engaging with you or buying that particular order of vegetables from you. So the most common uses for a landing page are generally around selling that one specific product. There's that word again. So just that one product, nothing else on that page, just that one product. Or maybe it could be a range of products. It could be a range of similar things. So it could be a t-shirt, and that t-shirt could have multiple colors. That's not so bad because they're still buying that t-shirt. But at the same time, what you want to do is make it so there's no choices. I remember a study was done in America some time ago to do with jams and preserves. So they call it jellies in America. And this particular study was done where there was 23 different flavors of jam that were tested in a supermarket for people to try out. And the conversion rate was basically out of one out of every 6 people that was taste testing the jams. They taste an average of about 6 of them. They would then go, okay, I've tasted those 6. Yeah, 1 out of 6 of those people who tasted the 6 out of the 23 would go on to actually buy a jar of that jam. When they reduced that down to just 6 flavors, the average was only 3 that people would try. But the conversion rate was 9 out of 10 that would actually go on to buy one of those flavors of that jam, even flavors they didn't try. So it just goes to show that there's a bit of a paralysis of analysis when it comes to going to the supermarket. You probably noticed too, supermarkets have a lot less choices than they used to do. Back in the day, you would have 50 different varieties of olive oil. Now it's down to about 10. So there's a lot less variety. And that's because supermarkets know the more varieties you put on there, people just don't know what to pick. And they just go, well, I'll just get the cheaper one. And so the supermarkets themselves have now basically got it down to maybe 4 or 5 brands of butter, whereas once before there might have been 15 different varieties of butter. And so a lot of brands have disappeared from the shelves simply because the supermarkets just had to stop people from being paralyzed with the thought of making the wrong choice. And making wrong choices and being paralyzed, it's actually a real thing that people go through. Signing up for a webinar or a workshop is also a very popular usage of using a landing page, and booking times to speak with you, booking things like Calendly. I use one the other way called Novo Call, or what's it? So TimeSync is another one I've used. There's lots of them that you can do this with, or getting them to leave an email address so they can receive more information, like downloading an ebook or perhaps being linked through to your webinar. Watching a video and then signing up, that's a very common use of a landing page, particularly for people who are selling services. And then giving some service information on a page about a particular specific, again, that word, service that you're providing, and then having a very clear book now, do this, buy now, all that sort of thing. Very specific call to action that's very immediate and very particular to that one very unique product or service. So the question will be asked, isn't this what my website's homepage is for? Shouldn't I be sending people to my website, because my website should be where all of this information is? The information may very well be on the website, but so is everything else, because you go to a website homepage and you're exploring, you're going through there to research the company, to look for contact details, getting support, seeing lots of options, reading articles, watching videos. When you go to a landing page, that landing page is there to fulfill one task only. So this is the one takeaway lesson that's big amongst all the things you're going to learn tonight, is that websites achieve many things. A landing page achieves just one thing, and it should just point to achieving that one thing alone. So the difference would be, like, for instance, in this summer bike sale, the summer bike sale is pointing to lots of different options with new arrivals and particular brands of bikes, cruiser bikes, road bikes, beach bikes, all kinds of different bikes and helmets and baskets and accessories and bells and all that sort of stuff. And they can say 40% off. There's a lot going on that website to the left. But you go to the right, and this is a landing page, and it's just for 15% off bikes for consumers. It's one commuters, one particular kind of bike. So they've taken away all the different options and all the different calls to action with a 40%, a 30%, a 40, a 15, a 15, so many different options, so many different discounts. They've removed the whole menu from the top. There's no menu. All they're doing is going, this is just pointing to only our commuter bikes where you can get 15% off. That's the only thing we're advertising, the only thing we want this traffic, which could have come from a Google ad, it could have come from a web address that was advertised on the TV or the radio. It could have come from a Facebook ad or just a post on Facebook or TikTok or LinkedIn or wherever it's going to be. And then that becomes the one thing they're after. So instead of all these different bikes like new arrivals, cruiser bikes, road bikes, beach bikes, and accessories, we're just looking at one category, 15% off bikes for commuters, really specific, just written for that one specific, very standalone, what we call a cohort, or one kind of person, a commuter who rides a bike to work. So you can see the difference here that I've got a page full of bikes and different options and a lot of different words going on. It's so much easier if I just go to this, from lots and lots of choices where I go, oh my God, which one am I going to choose? Do I want a basket? Do I want flowers? Do I want red? Do I want purple? Do I want pink? Suddenly to, this is the bike I'm selling. It's purple. It's got red bits on it. I like it. It's going to do what I need it to do. There's a little bit of information listed in there. Let's buy the thing. And you're just making it so much more simple, because that paralysis of analysis, or that someone freezes because they don't know which one to choose because they've got fear of missing out if they choose the wrong thing. That's when you've got this opportunity just to narrow it down to one thing or one category, and then they've reduced the choices down to the absolute minimum and make it easy for someone to pick up that one thing. So how will we then turn an existing website into a landing page? Here's one from G again. If they need to be directed to another page, say Gofundme, is that good practice, or should the desired action happen on the landing page? Look, ideally, you would want people to go to the page and everything they need to do is on that page. If you were going through to a GoFundMe, it may be better off if you just linked your ad or your post directly through to GoFundMe, because then you're not getting that extra click in the way. For every extra click you have, you're creating friction. You're making it that people are not getting to the thing that they're looking for. So personally, I would think go to GoFundMe directly rather than creating a landing page, because GoFundMe's pages are actually set up to be almost like landing pages, even though you can go and look at all the other GoFundMe projects and all that. When they're pointing to that specific thing and looking at a photo, for instance, the feature photo that you would use on GoFundMe should be the feature photo you're using in your ad. So at least when they get to the GoFundMe page, they will see something familiar that seems to match up with what they read in the ad. So I would say, yeah, probably look at going directly to the GoFundMe page or the Indiegogo page or the Kickstarter page or whatever it is you're going to use to fund these different fundraisings, or go to your specific page on Shopify if you're selling a product, rather than going through a landing page and then to somewhere else, because then it's becoming almost like it becomes an extra pages there for no reason for them, really. And it's just creating one extra step. And as we probably know from the history of the internet, the more clicks that someone has to do to get there, the less likely they're going to keep clicking, and they're just going to give up and just go backwards. So let's look at what the point of a landing page is. Whether that traffic is coming in from Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, Google, by email, any of those kind of things, or by hearing a web address on the radio or TV, it then goes into a landing page, which forms a bit of a bucket, I suppose. And in that landing page is a very, very simple message and a very specific call to action, which could be sign up for this, or book this now, or something like that. So your campaign goal is usually going to be what you call a conversion. Now, conversion can be anything you like. A conversion can be a sale. A conversion can be a booking. A conversion can be a click. A conversion can be a viewing of a video. It can be any of those different things. It's up to you what a conversion looks like. In most cases, it's going to be a booking or it's going to be a sale. So that's what you're going to measure this on. So remember that this is the point of a landing page, right? So I'll go to this one, which is a client of mine, NC Electrical. So NC Electrical's homepage, we've done a bit of work on making this it's clear they do a lot of stuff. It's clear they're based in Darwin with a photo of the Darwin waterfront. It's very clear what they do. Certified electrical and air conditioning specialists in Darwin. We have straight away said, this is great, this is who they are. But they do all this stuff: electrical, air conditioning, communication, security. There's a lot of choices here. And there's a whole lot of menu items at the top as well. So what we could do if we went, well, someone's just read an ad, and that ad is about the Northern Territory government's grant for putting solar power, like solar battery, so collecting power in the battery from your solar panels rather than just feeding it all back into the grid. So there's been a grant that's available for that. Now, there's nothing on this homepage that I can see straight away that's about this, because it's only one part of what they do. They don't want to necessarily tie it into everything that they do. So what we do to do that, we create a landing page. So a good landing page will be something like this, where we're just going straight into the, you know, here's a bunch of stuff that we've got on there that the anti-government scheme is like, you can't quite see it because it's not really showing through the way it's meant to be showing on this page. Sorry, it's supposed to be showing a whole lot of other stuff. Let me just quickly adjust that because it's definitely not showing the way I was meant to show it to show you that example. My apologies for this. I'm usually so much more prepared. Where are we going? We're going back down here to this guy here. So I'll make this a bit bigger so it's not filling the whole page. So you can actually see what it looks like. And present again. Shazam. Okay, so this is a fairly good one. It's got a very clear message that's just about that particular scheme. It's got the call to action over here, or you can call or email. So they've got a few options to be able to do that, which is not so bad. You don't really care how they come in as long as they come in. It's only got one message on the page, but our problem is it's still got this up here. So this would be a landing page. So this particular website's built in WordPress using a theme called Divi, which allows you to build lots of pages very quickly. And this particular page is using the main template of the site. So it's got all the stuff that the site would have: the logo, the menu items to go to other places. So whilst this is a good one, a better one would probably be this one, which all it is just the facts, just this, no menu, just what it is, what it's all about. So this is a better landing page because it's got no distractions. Now, the best landing page will probably be one that only has one option of how to action. So over here, we've got a click through to a pop-up that actually takes their details for them. You've got a phone number or you've got an email. Now, they've got multiple choices of how you can contact them. Again, they don't care how you contact them as long as you contact them. But you may have a very strong opinion where you don't actually want phone calls because you can't take them because you're working a side gig, and let's face it, you're at your full-time job during the day and you can't take those calls, so that they may not want phone calls. You may not want emails. You just want them to go through your booking system. That's fine too. You can have multiple ways for them to action, as long as those actions all lead to what you want. Either that's a sale, a lead, an email address, whatever it is, as long as they put that detail into whatever format you've got there. So when it comes to using Google Sites, Wix, and AdPage, which are some of the examples we're going to use to look at live, there's a ton of different tools out there. There's so many of them. MailChimp has its own landing page builder. So if you've got people coming in through different email newsletters, you can point them to a landing page that they go to once they action a link on there. And it helps you to then go, you can build what they call automation pathways. So those automation pathways can be something such as, if a person opens this email, then score them at this. If they open the email and then clicked on this link, score them as this and tell it to do this next. These are all very, very common tasks that appear in things like, say, Constant Contact or Get Response, and Zoho's got this as well as HubSpot and ClickFunnels, where there's a specific action you want people to take, and then scores them and gets them, sends them another email, or waits 3 days and then sends them an email, or it if they click on that buy thing, it has an autoresponder saying, hey, we know you like this, but for an extra $5 right now, you can upgrade and get this before we process the whole sale. There's lots of little things like that that can make that a very, very complicated setup. Yours is probably not going to be that complicated. You're more likely to have links going through to a specific page that you want to build. So you can use lead pages, Instapage, ClickFunnels, Landing Eye, Bitbox, and PageWiz. There's lots of different tools that'll do it. We're going to zero down on these guys: Google Sites, Wix, and AdPage. And I'm going to do a little bit in the back of one of the websites that I worked on as well, which is a WordPress site using the Divi Builder. So let me just get a few things out of the way and we'll get that going. So let's pop into the back of one of those websites I was looking at before. So we're going to go to NC Electrical, which is a real page. I've got his permission to do this, by the way. So let's pop on into that website. which I've already logged into before. I'm going to go to the page in WordPress where I built it. So I'm going to go and past all these different pages, go to this particular page here that I'm going to make some improvements to. So in this particular page, I'm going to open it up. And I've got the option to change the name, do some stuff with it, or go in and edit it with the Divi Builder. So this is like a builder that's much better, a much more complete way of building pages within WordPress rather than sort of using, you know, the page builder and the what they call the, oh, I forget what it's called, but it's the page and post builder in there. So you can see this is the particular one. So what I want to do to make this a little bit better, I've already taken off the menu. You see the menu's not there. If I go backwards and I enable one of these things to actually take it back to, so page attributes, where it says there blank page, this is where I've got the choice of removing the menu for pages that I'm making within WordPress. This isn't a Divi thing. This is just a WordPress thing. If you've got a WordPress site, you're able to do this yourself. So you can then go from default template, which has all the things on it. So it'll have your, what you call it? The, oh, I've completely lost my words now. It's got the menu and it's got the footer and all those things and logo and all that sort of stuff on there. Or you've got something which is going to be running really, really blank and just have the basic stuff around it. So that becomes when it becomes like this is a blank page. This will be the one that normally runs. So if I go default template and go and edit that now, it's going to show me the version with the main site elements, such as when it comes up, it hasn't done it, but it should have the, it's caching at the moment, not doing what it's meant to be doing, but it would show the menu at the top there. So what I want to do to improve this is go, well, the other services they provide, that's not relevant to this particular campaign. So I'm going to get rid of that stuff because it actually isn't relevant. I also don't need all this contact stuff down the bottom. So I'm going to get rid of that because I've got the contact stuff already there. So already a fairly well optimized page has been optimized even more because I've removed details from it. I've removed stuff that doesn't need to be there. A contact button, a contact section doesn't need to be there. I've got all the contact stuff I need. The footer of the site doesn't need to be there. All the other service they do, that's just completely drawing attention away from this one message I want them to get through. So you've got the anti-home improvement scheme is back, and then you've got the information about it all nice and clear. So if I go and now save that page, and if I go back into the live version of that page, once it gets out there, exit the visual builder. And now this is the live page, has been improved, really short, really sharp, and to the point. No fancy stuff going on, not a lot of choices, no menu at the top. Just ignore that WordPress menu. That's just because I'm logged into the site. If I log out of the site, that disappears. So let me just show you that. But the very live page, the page that you're going to see when you go there, if you ever see this ad, you'll be able to see it then. So let's go. Nearly there. Where are we going? I've gone back too far. There we go. So again, you'd see it without that little thing on the top there. So it's just a lot cleaner and it's a lot less cluttered and there's no extra stuff going on. It doesn't need to be. Now, there's one thing that's very important about this page. If I go to the main website, this page isn't linked to from anywhere else in the website. So if we go into the main website, we see the same view that you saw in the screenshot I took before. We can see all the different things in this particular website. Let me just zoom it into its right size. So I see all these guys here. There's no link to that specific campaign. And the reason for that is that anyone who's coming to this site just out of accident are looking for an electrician. They're not looking for a battery to be installed into their solar system. They're looking for something very different. So what it is an ad or set of ads we're running on Facebook. So if I go to look for those now, they should all still be running that lead to that specific page. So let's go to, it's another one of his businesses called Solar City NT. It's a handy little trick if you ever want to see what other people are using to advertise. So if I want to go and see what this guy is doing, he's currently running ads. So I run through that again. You go down the side of the page, You come to page transparency, see all, and it'll tell you whether they're running ads, and then you can go and look at the ads they're running. So I'll go and look at these ads, and there you go. So he's running this one here, which is pointing to that particular page, and there's more here. So there's little videos that I made for him a while ago, and all of these point to, so and up to 6,000 subsidized by the government. So all these particular, just going to mute that out. So you see it's all about this, go off grid, and then it's going to point to this particular grant campaign. And when that goes to it, it's going to go through to that specific page. So I just cannot action these ads for me. I can just watch them. So it gives you an idea of, okay, that's what this particular page was used for to link through to there. So that's using the Divi Builder and going and changing particular things. If you don't use Divi in your website, look, it's not a terrible thing. There's plenty of other systems that do it. The Avada themes, Beaver Builder, Elementor, which is probably one of the bigger ones. Divi and Elementor are kind of the big kahunas in the space. Avada, what else is there? The Visual Builder, the WP Bakery Visual Builder. They're all got weird names like that allow you to build pages and adjust them really easily. So I can just enable this builder and then go and change each individual item in there if I want to. So that's using the Divi Builder in a way that helps you. Another little introduction I want to make to you is Google Sites. Now, Google Sites, if you've got a Gmail address, you've got Google Sites. You just go to sites.google.com. So if you can read that there, you can see that URL, sites.google.com. And then it opens up this interface, or you may have to sign into your Google account to get it. If you've got a Google account, you've got this, and you just got to go and basically use it. You just probably didn't know it was there. So if I want to start up something, I can go, there's a bunch of different templates I've already got set up for different kinds of things. I can go into their template gallery and see there's got a landing page for an event. They've got small business websites you can set up. They're very, very, very simple to make. So if you've got your website already running and you just want somewhere for your traffic from your Facebook ad or your post on Facebook to land that isn't on your website, because your website's not really in a state that you really want to have it going through, you can set up a landing page through here, and it's free, lifetime free, and they're never going to charge you for it. So if I go blank, I'm just going to set up a blank landing page from scratch. It gives me a basic layout of a little thing at the top. I can enter the site name up here or add a logo. So I'm going to add a bit of a logo. Let's see what I've got handy in logos. I just downloaded like a ton of different logos before for different stuff. So where's one I can find? Dom's Bar. That looks good. So let's go. It's white. There we go. So I've got a little logo up in the corner. And then I can also add the name of this one. So I'm going to say Dom's first birthday. There's a bar that I work with. They've just had their first birthday. Now this can be, we're 1 year old and you're invited. So really, really super simple. That may not be the background that Dom wants in there. So I'm going to change that image. I'm going to upload something to go in the background. So let's just say maybe this lovely photo of the Perilla Chiller cocktail. So it's going to enhance it in the background. Now I can move that around a bit, I think. Yeah, no, it's just going to do what it's going to do. But I can make this header bigger and smaller. So I can make it cover the page, go large, which is probably where I want it to be. Have it as a small thin banner, or just have the title and no photo in there at all. So I'm going to go large. So I'm going, yep, that's what I like the look of. Now I'm going, I can't quite read all those words. So I can just go over the top and then change those around, make it thicker so it can be more easily read, or change the color of it to make it different. So the text color could change to maybe, yellow. Something, you'll find something that works for you. Or I can just change that image and make sure I've got something which is a little bit lighter. Now you can also just go and search images that are already in there, stock images like this one, right? Select that. That's going to be a lot easier to read. Then I can go back and make my text white. So now we've got that one simple message. Remember I was saying clear messages? So let's make some more of that. You've got layouts in here. So I'm going to take this layout and dump it in. And it's given me a place to edit the text. So I'm going to say 22nd March 2021 and then put some basic details in dot points. So at the bar, you know where we are, from 7 p.m. to midnight, free champagne on arrival. And we can just do any of those little extra bits and pieces. So you can go free champagne on arrival. You can say nibbles all night and entertainment by DJ Dan. I don't know who DJ Dan is, but he sounds really cool. And then I can have photos in here. So I can upload a photo or select an image from stock photography, but I actually want one that's going to be for real. So go this one because I've got a crowd of people there that gives an idea. My friend Rowan. And then I can add some more details if I want to. So I can go, okay, I want to add in maybe a button for people to book. Just grab the button and go, the button's going to be RSVP now. And it's going to go off to wherever it needs to go to. It might need to go to another page to complete that, or it could be just going to another part of the website. Or what I'm going to do is go to my Calendly site and pick out my calendar and embed it in there. So I'm looking for my account. I'm looking for maybe my 15-minute scoping call. So I'm going to find my Inline Embed. Let's take you, grab the code, go back to the site, and I'm now going to add that in. So down the bottom here, I'm just going to put in now, I want to have some, what do I want? Collapsible text? No, I don't want any of that. I want to embed. So I get the code I want to embed. Saying that isn't valid, so I'll just find it again. Let's go get the actual link. So this link. So I'm jumping around here like a madman. Then it's going to look for that embedding code. As it wants the whole page, that's what I want. Insert it in. And then my form or my calendar or whatever you're going to use to do that is now built. So if I want to now preview that and see what this all looks like, it takes away all the stuff around it. There's my page. I've now built a landing page. Quick, simple, made for purpose, and not based on anything else except for what I want it to do, which is to say, here's the invitation, here's the information, here's how to book it, let's go. And you can book in if you're using a Calendly link, or it could be you are embedding a YouTube video, or embedding a form from Jotform or from Google Forms even. They've got their own form product, you can do that. So you've essentially in about 3 minutes built yourself a complete landing page that's then able to be used. So we go, okay, that's looking really good. That's exactly what I want. Great. So let's get out of there and I can publish that. And you can even make it published so it's private. So at the moment, anyone within my particular company can view it. They have to be using a clickstarter.com.au email address. I want to make that go further. I want it to be public. So I want people to be able to, see this beyond just me. So I just want to go, I don't want just want my people seeing it. I want anybody to be able to see this. So I go, yeah, I might be the owner. So let's change who can see it. So we can go, it's published there. I want to see it for anybody. Anyone with the link can see it. So anyone can see it. Done. And then it has a web address. So it'll be sites.google.com, then my number, and then Dom's birthday. So that long site there. Now, this is the downside of using a landing page builder. You're not going to get a lot of choice over what the URL is going to look like, what the address is going to look like. But you're going to be able to easily be able to work with that because it's not being actually shown to anyone. You're not giving that to anybody for them to be able to copy down or to write down or to remember, because it's too much for them to remember. What you're just going to do is link it through on a Facebook ad or link it through on a post on Facebook. They don't need to know what the link is. They just need to click a button and it goes through for them. So that's a really quick, easy way to use Google Sites to produce a landing page for you. Angela's asking how about if you have a post or story on Instagram and you want to add the link to the landing page of the product you posted about? How do you do this? So that's a little bit different because when you're posting products from, say, your Shopify site or your WooCommerce site, and it's connected through to Instagram shops, what that is connected through to is your shop. It's not connected through to a landing page. So if you want to go to a landing page, the only real way to use that in something like Instagram is to put it in your bio, or you can put like a big link into a post, but no one can click it. So you can't embed a clickable link inside an Instagram post. The only ones are going to be that if you've got a product that's a particular product that's tagged in Instagram using Instagram shopping, and then you're able to do that. And that's all done through the Facebook Commerce Manager. So that's all done through that one place now where you hook up your e-commerce site through to Instagram, and then you're able to then place that product as a clickable item, because you're tagging the product within there. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense. It'd be nice if we could tag other things. Now you can actually, if you've got more than 10,000 followers on Instagram, you can actually have what they call slide up stories. So if you're posting Instagram stories, you can have a slide up link that can go to anywhere, a landing page included. Or if you don't have 10,000 followers, you have to run ads in Instagram stories placement, and that will allow you to then do the swipe up, and then allow them to click through to your landing page. So hopefully that sort of answers that one. Thanks for that, Angela. It's a good question. So that's Google Sites. It's probably the easiest website builder or landing page builder on the planet, and it's absolutely free. Don't expect it to be something which is going to set the world on fire with SEO. People are not going to find you on Google. This needs to be something you're connecting an ad or a post through from Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever, Pinterest, anywhere. Now, Wix is another free and freemium platform that you can build landing pages into. But the only problem is that Wix is going to put their branding all over your page. Google don't. They'll only put a little thing down the bottom. So if I like publish this and go and see the page, let's go and see it. Go and see the live page. It's actually going to be put in that it is. At the bottom, it's going to say it's no, they're actually taking it away now. It used to be a sign on the bottom that says built by Google Sites. That's nice. They've actually taken that away now, which is nice. I like that they've actually made it so that you don't no longer have the Google branding on the bottom of it. So that's a nice little touch that Google's thrown in. So for free, and you're never going to have to pay for it, they don't have their branding over it, but Wix will do that. So let's sign into Wix, and I'll go and start creating a new website with them for free. Got many logins. That's not the one I want. Let's go to my one. This one. All right, so I've got a few different sites in this particular one. So I'm just going to go create a new site. Now in this, I've got a lot of different things. What I'm trying to do, they're saying, what do you actually want to do? I want to do maybe, let's just say other, because it's not really in there. I never let Wix create the website for me. I always go to choose a template and I build it myself. So you're going to have a coming soon landing page. You can have a coaching page. So a lot of them are free. Some of them are paid. But let's just take, for instance, maybe this one. We're going to edit this one. So it's going to take that template and it's going to give us stuff that we can change and build around. This might take a while, sorry. We forget that Wix does take a while to fire itself up. Come on, buddy, you can do it. Wix is now the third biggest website provider in the world after WordPress and Joomla, and it's just about to overtake Joomla, which has been around for a very long time. It's about 2005. So now we've got this page that we can want to work with. We want to turn this into a landing page. We want to get rid of a whole bunch of stuff. So it's developed a whole lot of pages for us in this menu. It said, okay, here's all the pages you've got. You can manage these pages, get rid of them. I don't want subscription boxes. I don't want any of that stuff. So I don't want that page. I don't want shipping and returns because I'm not really talking about that. Go delete that, getting rid of all the extra stuff. I just want a home page that I'm going to use as a landing page. Delete. So I'm not doing this as, I guess, a lesson in Wix. And that's something which I'm actually doing a Wix lesson. I think it's next week, actually, where we're actually going much more in depth of how to use Wix, not just for landing pages, for websites as well. Okay, so we've got the home page, we've got back there. So I'll close that. And now I can make the changes I want to make. So I can get rid of this entire box because it's utterly irrelevant to me. I don't want any of that stuff. Get rid of everything I want, which is, kind of a waste of some very good design. The point is, I don't need any of this stuff. None of this stuff is relevant to my particular use. I'm just using this to build something essentially the same as what I built in Google Sites. And this is really for people who are much more comfortable using something like Wix. There we go. So now I'm going to drag up the bottom because it's like way too much extra stuff in there. It's like lots of parts I need to delete. I'm not going to use them. So now I've got a much shorter website to work with. So I might want to change the background maybe to something a bit nicer. Let's just say nice ambient background that's got stormy skies or something. There you go. It's kind of pretty. And then I can start to add elements. So sorry, if I want to add elements like some text, I want to add some text. So I go, okay, I'm going to add in heading 1, and that heading 1 is going to be book my 2021 series now. So it automatically creates the makes the areas bigger for you to fill. You sort of drag things out and they can fill up the space you want to fill up. So just center that all. I can highlight that and actually do center the text, make it white. So it stands out a bit nicer on that background. Drag this background up a bit because I don't actually want that whole section to be that big. No, it's not letting me do that. So Wix has got a lot of things it does that you go, oh, I just wish this thing would just work and do what I wanted it to do. But it does have a lot of pre-built layouts. So for instance, I can look at a strip, and the strips look like this. All these guys here. So this About Us one could be a pretty cool one to put there. So I can go straight from my 2021 series, drag my strip down to this bottom bit. Seems to be going down very low. I don't need it to go that low. There we go. And then I can play with these different things like changing the background to something else. Let's just say this little background, or I can say no background at all and just put a color in there, make it black. And then change all my text. So say, book the best in town. Change my text color. So you're starting to get the feeling of here. Then you've got a little bit of text here and just to fulfill what it is you want to fulfill there. I can add in other images if I want to. So I can add in an image. I'll have an image holder, or I can pick out some images they already have in their library. So if there's something in there that I particularly like, so let's just say we pick out something from the Wix library, and it's to do with kids' parties over Easter. I can add that to the page, drag it over to here, fit it into the space where it's going to show. It's currently a little bit big. There we go. And you just play around until you find the layout that you want. And then you can preview it, see what the page looks like without all the extra tools around it. So what they do, they put these little things in here, this Wix Ads, and they say, no, site built by Wix, proudly created Wix.com. You can't remove that unless you pay for it. But it does let you build some much, much more impressive looking landing pages, like with stormy skies and movement and image and videos in the background. The only problem is with a landing page, you want it to load super quick. You don't want it to be loading slow. So that's a little bit about Wix. If I'm going to look at another one called Ad Page. Now, Ad Page is a very premium product, and it's all about using something that's built specifically just for landing pages. So Ad Page costs about $59 US a month. Like, it's not cheap. And considering that you can do essentially all the same stuff through Google Ads. Now, I use this one when I've got very high performance, very high value campaigns that I'm making. So I'm going to skip this step and go straight in. Come on. And what it does, it gives you a whole bunch of templates that are set up specifically for landing pages. So I want to put a customer in there. So I'm going to put myself in. There's Clickstarter clients. Let's log into them. So it's a bit of a system. You're going to have to get a little bit of used to what this particular system is. But this guy, NCE, I've actually built him a campaign in here in the past. I can read about all that, look at what I'm going to do in there, and look at what the projects are. So I'm going to start a new project. I can go on a previous one. So for instance, there's a survey that I ran here. Let's start up something new, a new page. So I can pick all sorts of things. I can run a quiz. I can run sign up landing pages. I can run ones which just highlight a particular product. And this is what you're paying for when you're paying for very highly designed landing page creations that are not about building websites, but about building landing pages. Some of them are just layouts like these. Like you've got the skeletal layouts that you then place the stuff in, or you can pick out something like this, which is a complete one. So I'm going to say test page, confirm, and it gives me now a builder in which I can then build all this. Now, other tools like lead pages, constant contact, convert pages, click funnels, Instapage, they all have a very similar builder to this. So you can pick up things, change that with your particular logo, change the colors around if you want to change the colors around, you know, take it to a color that you actually use instead of the color they've got. So you can set the background image, change those, change different colors, change the color. I'll change that to something, there you go, to more orange. Once that clears that little message, thank you very much. Come on, I want to see the message, get away. There you go. So I'll change that now to orange. I can change these words to whatever I like. Book the, whoops, shouldn't have done that. Book the hottest ticket in town. So what it's done is built a very professional looking landing page that's already got all the professional elements in place that you want. So it's got the little calls to action that can click through to your course creation. It's got the, you know, the countdown if you want to count it down to a certain date. So you create that sense of urgency for someone who's going to look at all this stuff and look at just a few things you do and they can claim that spot. So you can have something which then has no menu. It's got no options whatsoever. And it's just a simple landing page that's fit for purpose for one thing. And then they'll give you is a particular, so I look at the preview, it will give me then what it's going to look like without all the building stuff. And then compare it what's going to look like on a desktop, a laptop, a tablet. So you can see it adjusts its settings a bit, and on a phone, what it looks like on a phone. So you can preview exactly what it's going to look like. So it's going to be designed and optimized to be loading really fast and creating something that you actually want to work with as a landing page, not a website. Can you build websites in this? Probably not this one. You can do it in Google Pages though. You can build an entire website in Google Pages. It won't be an e-commerce site. It won't be the world's greatest creation. Yes, you can connect a domain name to it at the moment, just .coms, not .com.aus. So it's a little bit limited in that respect, but there's very good options in there. So yeah, these are just a few of those tools that will give you an idea of how you can create those landing pages. And then I suppose then you've got the idea of the kinds of things you will create when it comes to well, I'd say within what you want to be able to do. Now, most of you probably would use something like Google Sites. Some of you will use maybe Wix, or you might actually want to build it in the back of your WordPress website. You can do all of that. Tanya just asked if there's a recording. Yes, you can. It's actually going to be on YouTube in about an hour's time. So I'll once it actually processes the recording video, I'll load that straight up to my own. So just look for my name on YouTube. So that name there, just look for that name on YouTube and you'll be able to find that in around about an hour. That'll be up there, as well as all the other ones I've done since the beginning of time. There's about 60, 70 different webinar videos in there. So this one will be at the top of the list when you find my channel. So hopefully you've been able to get a bit of an idea of what to do with these landing pages, what they're actually for, and some of the tools you can use to build them. If you'd like to reach out and discuss anything landing page related, or get a one-to-one ASBAS Digital Solutions one-to-one appointment with me. Sorry, it's completely blanked out there. I haven't had my dinner yet, that's why. Please get in touch with me via dante@treaty.com.au or through LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you like to reach out to people. I do welcome you coming through. And some of you I've seen before. Oki, I've met you before. It was quite a few years ago. But yeah, if you need any hands with any of that sort of stuff, please just reach out. I'd love to be able to give you at least some pointers. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. Please feel free to get in touch with me when you want to, and hopefully we'll see you in another one of these webinars very, very shortly. Thank you and good night.